Alright, what's up everybody? The Street Fighter 6 Season 3 patch, the patch we've all been waiting for, is finally here. And I'm gonna be real with you, I think it's pretty whack. I've been saying this for a long time. I think Capcom is gonna be very conservative with this patch. I didn't think they were gonna make huge, giant changes. This patch is not a huge, super meta changing, completely game shifting patch. So if you're waiting for something like Street Fighter 5 Season 3, where they added a bunch of new system mechanics like V-shift, they added second V triggers for everybody, that's not in this version of the game. There are system changes, and I think they are going to have an impact on the overall balance and how people feel when they play this game. But throw loops, for the most part, they're still in. Drive rush didn't get nerfed. There's no extended hitbox. There's no punish counter on drive rush like a lot of people were asking for. There's none of that. Remember the perfect parry changes people have been talking about from the Elena build at Evo Japan? Those were real. So everything everybody was saying about that is real. I'm going to give you my quick summary. So for system changes, I think there's 4 or 5 main system changes that you guys have to understand going into this new version. All right, number 1 is the perfect parry. Instead of reading the patch notes, I'm going to show you exactly what I'm talking about. And quick spoiler alert, Ryu is absolutely batshit insane in this. I don't know what Capcom was thinking. This guy got buffed to the high heavens. If you want to play a very, very good character and you enjoy winning, I suggest picking Ryu. This character is ridiculous. And Ken got nerfed. Just to give you guys the cliff notes right there, right off the rip. All right, and guys, before we get into the actual video, if you want to support me, it really helps me out if you hit that like and subscribe button. Helps me grow my channel, helps me create more videos like this in the future. So you guys know what to do. Anyways, let's get right into it. So first major change with parry is you have to parry either high or low. And you have to parry in the direction that the parry is supposed to happen in. So for example, Ken, you can't get a perfect parry if you just stand and tap parry anymore. So let's see if I can get the timing here. See that? There's this different sound effect. It's a whoosh. So you have to actually parry in the direction that it is. So that's a low. You have to actually hold down back to parry a low. You can't just tap down. Can we try just down? No, it has to be down back. So you can't even crouch neutral. You have to actually hold down back. Is how they kind of change parry. If you want the parry freeze. Now, I didn't check out the frame data. So let's check out the frame data. Let's see what it is if you get a imperfect parry. +6, which is exactly the same frames as if you just blocked it normally. So the imperfect perfect parry, it's exactly the same frames on block as it would be if you hadn't parried it at all. So Ken's crouching medium kick leaves Ken -6, leaves you +6. You get this one. And also, if they cross you up, you can't just tap neutral parry anymore. Now you have to parry in the direction they cross you up in. There. I had to hit back this way. Over here, I have to change my block direction to get that perfect parry. If I just hold back plus parry, I'll get an imperfect parry because it's now in front of me. I'm not getting here, but trust me, there it is. So I think this has some major implications for certain characters. So characters like Honda, where you don't know which way his butt slam is going to go. You don't know if it's going to land in front or behind. That got buffed just by sheer virtue of the fact that you have to change your parry blocking to match with the side that it hits you on. All right, so that's perfect parry. Now let's talk about another nerf. And this is a system change across the board. So every single character, for the most part, their crouching medium punches got more recovery. So it's not like Cammy's crouching medium punch got nerfed or Akuma's crouching medium punch got nerfed. They all got about 2 to 3 frames of extra recovery around, across the board. So Akuma's crouching medium punch was kind of notoriously difficult to whiff punish, but now it's much easier to whiff punish on reaction. Another system change that's universal across the cast is that sweeps, so crouching hard kicks, no longer cause a hard knockdown. And this is a big one. See how Akuma did the back recovery here? Before, that was a hard knockdown. So you can get up, only punish counters. So if you were a character with a really good sweep, and use sweep to set up a lot of your stuff, like M.Bison had a good sweep, Chun has a good sweep, that's nerfed. So overall, they're telling you, we don't want you to use sweeps in neutral just to punish, we only want you to use sweep as a whiff punish. However, they also buffed sweeps a little bit. So they greatly reduced the hurt box of sweeps. So now if you want to punish people on reaction with a sweep, it's a lot easier. So let's say Akuma does something like this. Crouching medium kick. It's much easier to punish crouching medium kicks with your own sweep now. Then another universal change, and this is because of the perfect parry things. They buffed every character's light kick. Ryu's crouching light kick to standing hard punch, there was a gap here. But now this is only -1. This used to be more minus. I can't remember off the top of my head how minus it was. Alright, here it is. Crouching light kick used to be -3. Now it's only -1. So in the previous version, before this patch, if Akuma did a 4-frame move, this would actually beat Ryu. Ryu couldn't do crouching light kick to standing light punch. But now, this beats opponents. So because it's only -1, you can chain into lights, and now you can kind of pressure your opponents better that way. Then another big change that I know everybody wants to know about, throw loops. Are they still in? Absolutely, they are still intact, and they are just as strong as ever. They nerfed a few characters' throw loops, but for the most part, if you had a throw loop before, you still have it now. Nothing changed about the throw loops. The only thing that changed is that the defender gains drive meter and super meter if they tech the throw. So everything we talked about from the Elena build at at Evo Japan was real. So those are the big system changes that you have to be aware of. And all those system changes are going to make a big deal in terms of the overall balance patches and like what kind of changed with the character. All right, we got him loaded up. So let's talk about our boy here, Ryu. Ryu got incredibly buffed. Like, you don't know what I mean when I say incredibly buffed. This is, hands down, the most buffed character in the game. He is insane. He got a bunch of changes. What change do you need to know? This is just stupid. Look at the speed of his level 1. Pretty fast, right? That's a pretty fast move. They just gave him a railgun. It is insane. You see the speed of that shit? It's a full screen punish. And not only that, check this out. You want to see some meta defining shit? Check this out. Rashid. This is going to make a lot of people happy and a lot of people sad. Ryu's top 1. He's definitely the best Shoto. If you want to play a good Shoto, don't waste your time with anybody else. This is your man right here. Did you see that? He can still block it, but it completely destroys the projectile. It's crazy. It's just like one of the most insane supers I've ever seen. Ryu's new 7,000 damage combo. You guys ready for this? Check it out. This is from Twitter. Throws, blocks, heavy donkey kick, punish counter into a Denjin level 2. Alright? Drive rush back hard punch, crouch hard punch, drive that rush into a level 1. 7,118 damage off of punish. If we're talking about the Shotos, just my quick summary. Luke got buffed. Akuma got nerfed. Ken got super nerfed. But of those three, I'm going to say Ryu got buffed so much that Luke's buffs don't matter. Because there's no reason to play any other Shoto if you're a competitive player other than Ryu because he's so buff right now. This character is ridiculous. Nothing got nerfed from the previous patch. He still has everything that he had before. Amazing forward medium punch. This got a buff too. This is even better now than it was before. Everything about him is just better. So there's really no reason to play any other Shoto other than Ryu if you're a competitive player. Now, if you're more casual and you still like Akuma or you like Ken, you can play them. You know, if you like Luke, that's fine too. But they are all lesser versions of Ryu right now. I don't think top level players are going to play any other Shoto. This guy's ridiculous. Alright, big win, winner, meh, small loser, and rough stuff is what we're going to be going with. This guy is in his own tier. He's not Ryu. He's Ryu from the streets. This guy is just his own tier of buff. Luke got big, but Luke's a winner. But I don't think he's that much of a winner just because Ryu got buffed so much. So there's really no reason to play Luke when there's Ryu. Jamie got a lot of buffs. First I thought he got nerfed because they didn't really do anything to change his drink system, right? And that's kind of like the one thing that everybody complains about Jamie, his drinks. I kind of feel like he's meh. I don't know. I don't think he's going to be like meta defining. So I think like the biggest change in my opinion. All right, so they changed his standing medium kick. So they made it easier to whiff punish. This move used to be notoriously difficult to whiff punish. But now it's easy to whiff punish. You can whiff punish it on reaction. With a crouching medium punch, this used to be impossible to punish at that range. But what they did was they changed the frames. It used to be 10 frame startup, now it's 9. So it depends on what you value. If you are not whiffing this move and you're using it really well, you get way more use out of it because it's faster. Not only that, on punish counter, they made this +6 on hit, which means he can combo. So he got some other changes too. It's too early to tell, but I think right now it's safe to say Jamie's a winner, but I don't think he's going to be like top tier or anything like that. I think he's going to still struggle against most of the same characters he struggled against, and it's going to be a little bit easier to beat his dumb standing medium kick. He's going to get new combo routes and things like that, but I don't think it's a huge change to Jamie. Though that's my thing. Alright, Chun-Li's an interesting one. When I read the patch notes for Chun-Li, I thought she got buffed huge. But after I started looking at Twitter and like seeing some Chun-Li main opinions, it looks like she didn't really get buffed. She actually got nerfed a little bit. So I think she's basically a small loser. They fixed her level 2. The level 2 used to kind of like, it used to like not combo all the time if only the first hit, but apparently it still isn't consistent. In the patch notes it said they fixed it, but they kind of didn't. And her DP, like her down kick DP, still basically doesn't really work all the time. So I think Chun-Li's a little bit of a loser. They changed her overhead frame, so she lost some of her setups. So she even lost stuff. So I think she's a bit of a small loser, actually. Could be wrong. Just my initial thoughts. All right, Guile. I'm going to put Guile into meh. He lost a couple of things, but he also didn't get hit hard, and he gained some stuff. So Guile's quick changes here. Guile, what changed with him is he can do a sonic boom once it goes off screen. He can do another one right once it's off screen. So that's a buff to his boom game. You know, they jump over your boom, it disappears, it goes past the screen, you can throw another one as soon as he recovers. So that's a buff. Then he also got some nerfs. So he got the typical crouching medium punch nerf, but he also got a nerf to standing hard kick. So this used to be his best starter as a punish. But this has 20% scaling right away. So this used to do way more damage before this. So in Season 2.2, 2.5, they nerfed standing heavy punch. They added damage scaling to it. So now he only does 5,000 off of this. But they added something. This kick, down forward heavy kick, they gave more of a float on punish counter. And I was doing some experimentation. This is really good. He gets a ton of shit off of this. So if he can use this as like a shimmy tool, he can do this. He can do this for 3,000 damage in one drive bar. This is really good. He gets a setup off of it too. There. That's a meaty setup. He's +4 and he can shimmy you off there if you block it. So that's really strong. But they nerfed his bazooka knee. So you could actually use this as a punish against lows before. See, that wouldn't have gotten hit out before. See, I was getting hit out of the startup of this. So now, like, it's much harder to whiff punish lows with bazooka knee. So this got nerfed. But I think just by virtue of him not getting nerfed anywhere else, I think this character is okay right now. So he's my main. I'm going to keep on using him. He's still really good. So I'll put him in meh. Not too bad, not too good, just meh. Okay, Kimberly. I don't know too much about Kimberly, so I'm actually going to leave her because I'm not quite sure. I'm not exactly sure what's happening with this character. I looked at the patch notes. She got some stuff off of her light target combo. But and she also got different timings on her bombs. I think we're going to have to develop this character a little bit more and do some stuff in the lab before we really know how she changes. Juri, I think Juri got nerfed. So I think she's a small loser. Just with the perfect parry stuff. She didn't really get anything good. She lost her +5 on hit jumping, +5 on block jumping heavy kick. That's only going to be +1 if they do it from the top range. So she lost that. That's a big one. I think the changes some of the other characters make her life more difficult. And they also nerfed her standing heavy punch. So this used to be really hard to whiff punish before. But now it's really easy to whiff punish. Especially with lows. So I think she got a big nerf. That's pretty insane. Also the fact that, remember, crouching medium punches, they have 2 more frames of recovery. So her crouching medium punch is also easier to whiff punish now. And then there's going to be extra damage scaling. So I think she got worse. So Juri, small loser. I'm not going to put her in the rough stuff category because rough means you're going to be really, really bad. But yeah. All right, Ken. Ken is in the rough stuff category. I think they finally nerfed this guy. They gave him one really stupid change that made him strong, but everything else is rough. All right, so first, the change I know everybody wants to see. What happened to Jinrai? You guys ready? Sorry, on counter hit, it knocks the opponent down. It knocks the opponent down, so this is totally different, but... Oh, shit. No, you can't combo to his level 3 on this anymore. So that's a huge change. So he can't do level 3 after Jinrai. which is really big. It just kind of knocks down. But for some reason, and I have no idea why, they made his level 2 only -5 on block. And they increased the pushback. Look at this. Look how safe that is. I don't know why they did that. I don't know, like, I guess they're trying to make it like a really good whiff punish tool. Yeah, because it has no invulnerability, but like, I don't know, did he need that? Throw loops for Ken, they still exist. However, this is now a 1 frame manually timed throw loop. So it looks like it's really easy to do, but it's not. It's really hard. It's a 1 frame manual link. So Ken's corner throw loops, they're not dead, they're just really hard to do. There are only 2 characters that really got nerfed for corner throw loops. It was Ken and Rashid, but Rashid still kind of has it. Oh, Ed too. Sorry, three characters. Ed too. So just because of that, I think he's a huge loser of this patch. That's a massive change to Ken. Plus, the fact that Ryu got buffed like incredibly and still has corner throw loops just means Ken got a huge nerf. So that's real rough stuff for him. I think Blanka's a big winner. I think Blanka's a very big winner of this patch. He has crazy level 2 setups. I can't do them myself. So while Blanka lost the ability to do sweep side swap stuff in the corner, that's kind of like a universal change because this doesn't do a hard knockdown anymore, he can now combo. That's a combo now, which means he has enough time to put a Blanka ball down. That's a hard knockdown. Blanka got way better. He's a big winner. Dhalsim, I don't know about Dhalsim. I want to say meh. I know they buffed stuff about him, but I don't think they gave him anything that's really going to make people switch to Dhalsim and start playing him more. I don't think his bad matchups got any better or anything like that. I just think he's a little bit better than before, but he's still Dhalsim, right? Honda, people were saying Honda got nerfed because they did nerf his standing medium punch a little bit. They added 2 frames of recovery, so it's easier to whiff punish. But I'm putting him in big winner just because it's so much harder to perfect parry him now. But they did reduce the drive gauge chip that he does on headbutt. So I'm just put him as winner because I still think this character is really good. And the fact that you have to actually know which side his butt slapping is going to go on, I think is a pretty big deal. And the system changes kind of make it harder to perfect parry him when he butt slams you. So the fact that he got a buff there, I'm going to put him as a little bit of a winner. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe people will disagree with me. But I don't know. I think that's pretty good. Deejay, I think Deejay's kind of meh. He got some buffs, but they made his... what do you call it? They made his flash kick faster. So that's good. They changed the frames on this. They made this a little bit different. But I don't think any of these changes are really, really huge. I don't think they're going to really do too much to the character. But again, remember, you have to block this low and you have to block this high to get a perfect parry. So that's going to be a little bit harder for the defender. So I think that makes him a little bit better. But he didn't really get anything like really, really, really good that's going to move him up the tier list. All right, Manon. Manon's an interesting one. I thought they kind of buffed her. But the more I've seen online, I noticed that they nerfed her. So I'm not going to put her into rough stuff because she was never as good as Ken, so she didn't fall as much, but she lost stuff. I think she's worse overall. Before we do anything, the only thing you guys got to know, the biggest thing that you need to know is that Manon's burnout roots got nerfed. So if you block this, she can't just do standing medium punch anymore when you're in burnout. Doesn't work anymore. She lost that. So that's a huge thing for burnout loops for Manon. Another thing that she lost is they changed the way her target combos work. All right. So basically, if you get a punish counter, let me show you what it looks like. This knocks down now the standing medium punch, standing heavy kick combo. So she's really plus after this. She's plus 32. So she can dash in and still be plus 11. So she can mix you up after that. I don't know. She doesn't put you into an immediate mix. I don't think this is like really that good. I don't think Manon players like this. I think she loses some stuff off of that. Then also standing heavy punch target combo. This launches them in the air. I don't think it's a big deal. So yeah, I think Manon lost more than she gained. All right, so Manon, small loser, but I think it's pretty rough for her. I don't think there's really much of a reason to play this character right now. Marisa, I'm going to put her as a winner. I'm not quite sure if I can put her into big winner, just because I'm not sure if her bad matchups got any better. And also, I think one of the biggest issues Marisa has, she had a bunch of issues up until this point in Season 2.5, but for me, the biggest issue that she had was her incredibly slow walk speed, and that didn't get buffed. So just because of that, I think she's not a huge winner, but I'm thinking she got better. How much better? I'm not sure. I'm not a Marisa player. I think the perfect parry changes kind of benefited her a lot because now you actually have to perfect parry low or perfect parry standing up against some of her stuff, so it's much better. Her crouching light punch is better. Her level 1 is a true reversal now, so that's a big buff for her. So I think Marisa's a winner, but the fact that she still has really slow walk speed is still holding her back, and I don't know if her bad matchups got any better. So I'm going to say she's a winner, but I don't think she's a huge winner. Okay, JP. JP didn't really get any huge changes, but now that you have to parry properly, so against his fireballs, you actually have to parry like high or low. I'm going to say he's a winner just because he didn't get nerfed. He didn't lose his level 2, his OD fireball into level 2. I think this guy is just a winner because he didn't get nerfed. And the system kind of works in his favor now. So I think this character is really, really good. Nothing really changed, nothing significant, but he also didn't get nerfed and the system works in his favor. So I think JP is a winner. Zangief. This is a character who I thought got nerfed, but actually, I think Zangief's a big winner. The more I think about it, I think Zangief is a really big winner in this patch. They made his OD command grab like 1 pixel shorter than his light command grab. Okay, here's max distance for his light SPD, okay? Right here. Here's OD SPD. Pretty much the same. So they buffed that. That used to not work from that range. That used to have shorter range, much shorter range than the light punch SPD. So they buffed that. So that's really, really good. So basically what he can do now is he can throw you, drive rush in, and OD command grab you if you decide to block. Which is much easier to do than it was before. So that's a real mix, and it's going to do insane damage. So that's 3,400 plus the initial command grab is how much? 2,500. So you're looking at like a lot of damage. That's over half health just from 2 command grabs set play. So Zangief's a winner there. They buffed this because now it's a low parry. So you actually have to parry it low. I don't think it's a huge change. And they also made it easier to combo into this. They made this more consistent. So it's easier to combo into that. So that's a big winner. And the other thing they did was they made his hurt box fatter. So it's hard to show here, but this move was ridiculously hard to whiff punish. They increased his hurt box, but it's still really hard to punish. So I'm going to say this guy's a big winner because he didn't get super duper nerfed. I think this character is going to be one of the best characters this season. Early prediction, he's going to be up there with Ryu and everything. This character, it was good, and he's still going to be good. My prediction. Okay, Lily, I think Lily is a small loser. She got a couple things. They buffed her forward dash, but one thing that changed that's really bad against this character is that they nerfed her back heavy punch. You guys remember back heavy punch? Alright, so Lily's back heavy punch. This was one of the hardest moves to whiff punish previously. But now you can actually whiff punish it on reaction. I think that's a huge nerf for her. She gained a couple other things. Her dash is faster and stuff like that. But I think making that move whiff punishable is enough to call her a small loser, in my opinion. Plus the other system changes that happen with this game. So just my take. I could be wrong on Lily, but I don't think people are going to be picking her up. I don't think she got strong enough to really convince people to play her more. Alright, next, Cammy. So Cammy lost the ability to do her mid-screen target combo into Oki. I'm going to put Cammy as a small loser, not just because she lost that. I know some Cammy mains are saying, oh, she can just do standing hard punch into hard punch spiral arrow like her old season 1 combo. That's true, but they also, the system-wide nerf of crouching medium punch being even easier to whiff punish. They nerfed that last patch too, season 2.5. They made her crouching medium punch easier to whiff punish. It's even easier to whiff punish now. So just because of that, I'm going to say Cammy's a small loser. Maybe they gave her something that'll make up for it. I saw some stuff on Twitter with like some heavy kick DP shenanigans. But for the most part, I don't know. I think she's a small loser in the overall system of the game. Just my take. Rashid, big winner. If for nothing else, they didn't touch his level 2. Rashid is a huge winner. The fact that they are never going to nerf Rashid's level 2. You guys know that I've always been saying they need to take Rashid's level 2, make it disappear if he gets hit. Didn't touch it. They nerfed his corner throw loops. He's further away, but he still has it. It's just like a little bit harder to do. So I'm going to be fine with keeping him as big winner because he didn't really get changed. Aki's a weird one. She got some buffs. Her quarter circle forward medium punch is better, but she also got nerfed to her burnout roots. So I'm just going to put her in meh. I think there's some people were saying she got nerfed. I initially thought she got nerfed because she lost her burnout root. She's a little bit less airtight on her burnout stuff. But apparently she got some nice little quality of life changes. So I'm just going to say meh. I think she's going to be more or less the same. She's going to feel a little bit better to play, but I don't think she can like shoot up the tier list too much. I could be completely wrong. Ed is rough stuff to the max. This character got gutted, unfortunately. I don't know what they're really trying to do with this character. I don't know why they would nerf him the way they did, but it's just, I don't think you would want to really play this character competitively anymore. So with Ed, the biggest single change to him, if you perfect parry his flicker, you can perfect parry with a screen freeze against his flicker. This did not happen before. This is not how this move used to work. And not only the regular versions, but also the OD version as well. He also lost the ability to do flicker into throw in the corner. So he lost his throw loop. So just from those two changes alone, this character is going to be so much worse than before. Alright, next up, Akuma. I think Akuma, I'm going to put him in rough stuff. And I'm going to tell you why I put him in rough stuff, okay? I don't think he got nerfed that hard. Alright, in terms of actual like balance patch changes. Because he's still good. Okay, let me tell you what he lost. Alright, so that's now -1. So he lost his mid-screen safe jump off of that, because they nerfed the sweep ender off Light Tatsu. So that's huge. He has way less pushback on forward hard punch. Way less pushback on this. So less pushback here, and he also lost pushback on heavy adamant flame. I think he's in rough stuff because they buffed Ryu so much that there's no reason to play this guy anymore. On paper he's not bad, but because Ryu got buffed, sorry, not Ryu, Ryu from the streets. Because he got buffed so much, you don't want to play this guy anymore. Initially I had M.Bison as small loser, but I'm actually going to put him in rough stuff. Because he lost, what do you call it, all his mid-screen bomb setups. I don't know if I want to put him as rough as these guys. I'm going to stick with small loser. Losing those mid-screen nerfs is bad, but I think he still works as a character. You're just going to have to learn some new stuff. Now you basically have to choose between whether you want mid-screen Oki or bomb pressure. So, loser for sure. Terry, big win. Terry's a big winner. This one's big winner. Let me show you why. Terry, boy got buffed. First big buff you gotta know with this guy. This is now a low. You can't parry this standing up. If you want to perfect parry this, you have to crouch. They buffed his sweep. His sweep is better. And I'm pretty sure you can dash twice after that and still be +2 or +3 in their face. And another really good quality of life thing for this guy, they reduced the pushback on hit. So now it's much easier to combo after a punish counter standing heavy punch. Sorry, standing heavy kick. So now you can do stuff like this without having to spend so much meter. That's much easier to actually do now because you can walk forward a second because they made it more consistent and there's less pushback. OD burn knuckle. An anti-air, if I remember correctly. But yeah, this is an anti-air now. Alright, so Terry's still really good. Who we got next? I think it's Mai next. Yeah, last one on the list. Save the best for last. I think Mai got hit super hard. I think she's still good. I think my community's a little bit too doomer over her, but I'm putting her into rough stuff just because of how little thinking you had to do with this character at high level compared to how much more thinking you're going to have to do now. So she got nerfed quite a bit. I'm going to show you her most important nerfs. Biggest change right off the bat, her fans. Now remember when I was saying my predictions, I was saying they should kind of make it where the second fan doesn't bounce if you get a perfect pair or anything. None of that happened, alright? They didn't do anything. But what they did do, they took away the proximity guard on the second fan. So what does that mean? Before, if you blocked the first one and held back, you couldn't do this. Look at this. You can just walk backwards out of the fan. You could not do that before the patch. That alone completely changes the character. Totally changes the whole rock, paper, scissors things. Now you're not forced to make a guess between low, overhead, and command, like regular throw. Because now you can move out of it. So she's way less brain dead. And they nerfed how much damage, how much chip damage this sequence does. That does a lot less than before. And if you parry this, check how much drive meter I gain. So the risk reward, both in terms of her offense and also how much drive gauge you're losing, is completely different from before. Alright, so if you guys are saying she didn't get nerfed, she did, because what made this character strong wasn't just her pressure, it was how much drive gauge chip damage she did to you. So even if you blocked against her, you were losing. So if you blocked the mix-up, you were losing. If you got hit by the mix-up, you were losing. And if you got thrown, you were losing. So that's gone. So now the risk reward for defending against this character is much, much better than it was before. Huge nerf to this character. Also, this, way less pushback on block. So I'm going to set mine to block everything here. Now you're actually -3 and you don't push yourself away anymore. Now you just kind of stay where you are. So you can't just keep on doing this from a safe distance, just keep on mashing it and hope that you're safe all day. Nerfed. Also, pushback on standing hard punch, that got nerfed too. See how she's moving closer and closer to Mai every time she does this? Pushback nerf. Also, my favorite change, not my favorite, probably second favorite change. You guys remember I was telling you how absolutely dumb I thought it was? That Mai always gets her level up fans, even if she just like whiffs this move. Remember that? I said, oh, how does it make sense that she does level 1 and she gets the flame stalks? See, no flame stalks? Because you punished it? You don't just get flame stalks even if you wake up and let it rip. So this is how it should have been from the beginning. Nobody in the game gets powered up if they get hit. Like Jamie drinks, and if you hit him out of the drink, he doesn't get his drink. Now she's normalized. Now she's not like an exception to the rule. She works like everybody else. So she can't just wake up with level 1 anymore. She can still do this stuff in the corner. This aspect of her gameplay is exactly the same. Nothing changed there. She's still going to be strong here. She can still do this. Her core gameplay is still intact. But now you just have to think a little bit harder when you do the really dumb stuff. So I think she's still going to be a good character. But because she was so dumb before, I'm going to put her into our rough stuff category. I don't think she's bad. Alright? I don't think she's bad, but I don't think you're going to see a ton of pros play her like you did before. So that's my overall initial feelings. But this is my second look, and this is kind of how I feel about the overall balance patch of this game right now. Again, guys, keep in mind, I didn't have too much time to actually play. It's day 0. This patch came out a couple of hours ago. I'm not magic. I do what I can. Maybe some things are wrong. Maybe some things are right. These are just my predictions. So before you go crazy in the chat, just remember, it's my predictions. What do you guys think? Do you agree? Do you disagree? What do you think about this patch? Are you happy about it or are you disappointed? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.